Packers won their preseason opener 24-9 over the Philadelphia Eagles. Thompson will not take it out. So Kirk Cousins on his 29th birthday will lead the Redskins offense. Receiver set, Vernon Davis is the tight end. On first down, it's Kelly. And Rob Kelly is bottled up as he looks to force his way back to the line of scrimmage. 6 plays, no first downs against the Ravens. On the toss, it's Kelly. And Rob Kelly gains 3 out to the 28-yard line. Jake Ryan made the tackle, setting up third down and 7. There is a penalty marker, and the play is blown dead. False start. Ron Torbert, our referee, following the penalty. Cousins to the outside. Catch is made by Chris Thompson.
Mistakes when the action isn't even going on.
That's 3 straight 3-and-outs for the Redskins. First team offense. This is Trevor Davis. He's hit, loses the football, and the Redskins have recovered. Niles Paul on the recovery for Washington.
Special teams coach, he said, I want to see what 31's going to be able to do. Well, you're getting a real opportunity to see it. Didn't play last week because he was injured. Does a really nice job of forcing the fumble.
In the red zone, 1st and 10 from the Green Bay 16-yard line. Cousins escapes the pressure, dumps it off, it's short. He was looking for Kelly out of the backfield. 2nd and 10 from the Packers 16. Cousins to the end zone, and it's broken up. He was looking for Vernon Davis. Josh Hawkins on the coverage. 3rd down and 10. Cousins looking, now he throws, and it deflects away from the intended receiver, Terrell Pryor. Mark Mosley's franchise record. This a 34-yard attempt from the right hash. Hopkins gives the Redskins a 3-0 lead.
Looking at it. Always wonder.
Right now, Charlie's looking at his Twitter feed. Kickoff sails through the end zone. 10 for Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers from the 25-yard line. That pass deflects off the hands of one of the newest Packers. 2nd and 10, 25-yard line as Rodgers swings it out. This is Randall Cobb, who's hit hard after a gain of 5 by Josh Norman.
There he goes. Rashard Breeland forces him outside.
Now Rodgers fires downfield. On 3rd down, he was looking for Jordy Nelson.
Green Bay has challenged the ruling on the field of the previous play. If the defense had 11 players on the field, we'll review the play.
Actually, they're allowed to have 11. 2, 4, 6, 8. He said they have 12. One down on the field that never gets off.
92 of the defense did not clear the field before the ball was snapped. The defense had 12 players on the field. That's a 5-yard penalty. It results in a 1st down. Green Bay will not be charged with a timeout.
1st and 10 from the 35-yard line. Jamal Williams, the all-time leading rusher at BYU. Secret.
Oh, well, just, you know.
2nd down and 8. Here's Williams again. Running into bodies out across the 40 to the 42-yard line, setting up a 3rd down and 3. Terrell McClain made the tackle. Rodgers on the slant. It's Devontae Adams. New set of downs for the Packers from their 48-yard line. Rodgers to the outside. Jordy Nelson. Nelson gains 9 with Breeland defending. From the Washington 41. Quick release. It's Nelson again. Broken tackle. He's inside the 35. And then finally forced out of bounds. 2nd down and 2. The give is to Williams. And Jamal Williams picks up a Green Bay 1st down. Packers have picked up 3 first downs since that challenge. Williams to the 26. 2nd down and 6 off the fake to Williams. Rodgers rolling to his left. And then he throws it out of bounds. He was looking for Devontae Adams with Freeland defending. Yes, you are. 3rd down and 6. Rodgers picks up a first down and more, and then he slides inside the 15-yard line, marked down at the 13. 3 receiver set. Cobb in the slot to the right. This is Cobb inside the 10, down to the 8-yard line, a gain of 5. Rodgers on 2nd down. Can't find anyone. There is a penalty marker down as Rodgers will take it out of bounds at the 6.
Illegal use of hands to the face. Offense number 55. Correction, that's illegal use of hands to the face. Defense number 55. We'll go half the distance from the end of the run. First down.
Rodgers on 1st and goal, hands it off to Williams, and he's met immediately by Mason Foster, and then he picks up a yard down to the Washington 3. On 2nd and goal, Rodgers to Martellus Bennett for a Packers touchdown. Matched up with Zach Brown.
On a linebacker. Does a nice move outside. You know Zach Brown doesn't press people outside very often, if ever. He just gets caught flat-footed. Martellus goes up and goes and makes the play. Gronkowski got hurt last year. Everybody said, oh, what are the New England Patriots going to do? They bring in Martellus Bennett. He does a really good, solid job. And they wind up down 4 points.
Redskins will start at their 25-yard line. Then 10 from the 25-yard line. As Cousins hands it off, Kelly. Mike Daniels the tackle, short game.
I don't need to look elsewhere.
Kirk Cousins out for his 3rd series. Connects with Jamison Crowder. 3rd down and 5. Redskins must get to the 35 as Cousins fires, and it deflects away from Jamison Crowder, so the Redskins go 3 and out once again. Trevor Davis back deep. Turned the ball over on his first opportunity tonight. We mentioned his 68-yard touchdown on a punt return against the Eagles last week. And again, it's Moreau. Terrific coverage. CLA. Packers with their 2nd string offensive line of the game as Hundley is taken down back at the 13-yard line on his first play tonight by Preston Smith. 2nd down and 18, and penalty marker is thrown. Packers took too much time.
5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
So this will force Green Bay back even further. Texas, El Paso. 2nd down and 23. Hundley in trouble, gets rid of it. It's Jones. And Jones is tackled at the 6-yard line.
Smith dropping back in the middle. They're going to give up anything underneath. Now Swarm.
Aaron Jones. And it's Deshaun Breland who brings him down at the 15-yard line after Zach Brown could not. Rookie out of Miami, punting from his 5-yard line. Will Blackman back deep. He started his NFL career with the Packers, originally drafted by Green Bay. And this will set up excellent field position as Kirk Cousins. Donations of athletic equipment, apparel, and footwear to programs that get kids more physically active in their communities. Rob Kelly, 2nd down and 12. Empty backfield for the Redskins. As Cousins fires, it's Terrell Pryor. And he is tackled at the Green Bay 43-yard line, a yard shy of the marker. This is Kelly. And he fights his way for the first down of the night for the Redskins in the final minute of the first quarter. He set it down for the Redskins as Kelly gets tripped up by Quentin Rollins. Down at 11. Cousins complete. Vernon Davis. They must get to the 31 of the Packers for a first down. Movement prior to the snap.
Ball start.
Nope.
Offense, number 80. 5-yard penalty. It's 3rd down.
Jamison Crowder, the 4th Redskins penalty tonight. Vernon Davis split out to the right. 3rd down and 10 following the penalty. Cousins in trouble. Throws it away. Kenny Clark, the pressure, another flag.
The pass was thrown. Holding. Defense, number 35. It's a 5-yard penalty. Results in an automatic first down.
Yeah, that's what when you're 3rd and 5.
1st and 10 from the 36-yard line. This is Kelly. Gain of 3. On 2nd down off the fake to Kelly, it's Ryan Grant. Grant stays on his feet and now is down at the 32-yard line. Redskins must get to the 26. Cousins throws. It's Grant again,
But he's short.
just short. As Paul shifts into the backfield, 4th down and 1. It is Kelly. Cousins checking out the plays from the last drive. Brett Hundley hands it off. This is Aaron Jones. Jones out across the 30. 2nd down and 5. Play action. Hundley rolling right. Now he fires. And the catch is made by Trevor Davis. From the 44-yard line, this is Jones. Jones takes it all the way out to midfield for a gain of 6 to Shazer Everett, the stop. 2nd down and 5. Hundley steps up, fires downfield, and the catch is made by Jeff Jadis. Redskins 13, 3 receivers set. Hundley to the near side. This is Geronimo Allison. He's run down by DeShazer Everett. 2nd down and 3. Hundley up the middle. Takes it inside the 5-yard line. Hundley on 3rd down, throws into the end zone for a touchdown. It's Aaron Jones.
Right side of your screen, he's out in the flat. Here comes pressure. Gets lost in the mix. Was he Chris Carter's guy? Pretty good shape.
Hundley 4 for 4 on the drive. The extra point is good. Mason Crosby.
Defensively, and see what they can generate.
This is Zach Pascal, rookie out of Old Dominion. Undrafted, free agent signing by the Redskins. Pascal out to the 18-yard line, so they start from the 18-yard line. Cousins 6 of 10 for 33 yards, throws it into the ground following the pressure from Jaron Elliott. 2nd down and 10. Cousins steps up and throws. It's Kelly out of the backfield, out to the 23-yard line.
Yeah, like you said, it's a lot of change, so I expect us to be up a little bit more in our numbers than we were last year. I mean, guys are tremendously working hard. They're out here every day.
Key word of the day, work. Back up to you guys.
All right, thanks very much, Clinton. Josh Norman in his 2nd season with the Redskins. 2nd down and 6 from the Packers 44. Play action. Cousins fires downfield, looking for Jamison Crowder. Redskins must get to the 38 for a 1st down. Vernon Davis unable to hang on, and then Ryan Grant able to scoop it up.
There's the possession. There's the hit. It looked like he had it, had control of the ball. Be an interesting decision.
The catch. It's an incomplete pass. It'll be Washington's ball, 4th down at the 44-yard line. Please set the game clock to 5 minutes, 37 seconds, please.
Hope to have consistency for 2 or 3 years. The Packers have had it for decades.
Their catch is called for by Trevor Davis. Packers start from their 9-yard line. 5.5 remaining in this 2nd quarter. Devontae Means.
Also part of the reason why I got hurt, because of how I was living off the field. So there's a lot of things I'm doing now that I never did before.
It's 68 days, Joe, since his last regular season game as a member of the New Orleans Saints. As the catch is made for a 1st down.
A regular preseason game.
Regular preseason game, that's it. From the 21, Hundley to the far side. It's Max McCaffrey. 2nd down and 4. We can hear it all the way up here in the broadcast booth, Joe. Martrell Spate. Penalty flag, 3rd down and 7. Free play for Hundley.
Offside. Defense, number 55. 5-yard penalty. Replay, 3rd down.
Down at 2. Hundley wrapped up. Down he goes. Phil Taylor. Vogel punting from his 10-yard line. Blackman will let it bounce. Takes a Packers roll. All the way down to the 23-yard line. 4 and 6 after that loss.
Everybody was all concerned.
Kirk Cousins remains in the game. This is Chris Thompson. And this will take us to the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes remaining, 2nd quarter. Josh Doctson on the field. Pass intended for Ryan Grant. Kevin King defending. 3rd down and 7. Cousins fires downfield. He's looking for Vernon Davis, who makes the catch in Packers territory. On 1st down. Cousins complete. Chris Thompson pushed out of bounds at the 27-yard line. Gain of 5. Doctson split wide to the right. Cousins on the slant. It's Doctson. His first catch of this preseason. Played in only 2 games last regular season for the Redskins. From the Packers 15 on 1st down. Cousins pump fake, and then he drops it off to Thompson. And Chris Thompson takes it all the way down to the Packers 1.
For example, should help the Carolina Panthers in those kind of situations.
And now Thompson is bottled up. It's Joe Thomas tackled back at the 4-yard line. Loss of 3.
To the right.
Cousins looking that way. Throws corner of the end zone. Too high for Clark. Goal from the Packers 4. Cousins to Thompson. And Thompson is forced out.
I'd like to see him go for it. That's why you brought him here. They're backing off. That won't work.
Cousins to the end zone. Touchdown. Jamison Crowder on the 10th play of the drive.
And understand his moves. Nice job by Jameson. Perfectly thrown ball. Outside shoulder away from the defender.
78-yard drive. Hopkins. The extra point. Hopkins kicks it deep.
And it's good.
Is that a 4-pointer?
It should be from that distance.
Hundley will hand it off on 1st down. It's Devontae Mays. And that will do it for the first half of football.
What are they going to do? What are they going to do with that as far as a general manager goes? How difficult is it to find 2,000 guys hitting the street at the same time?
Well, you're changing really from 75 to 90, because you only had it for a couple of days, okay?
We start the 3rd quarter. Hundley's pass is caught for a 1st down and more by Geronimo Allison, who takes it all the way out to the 45-yard line, a 25-yard catch and run.
Rogers.
Where are all the Joes and Charlies?
There are no Joes and Charlies around. They're in the booth. And Moreau has been sort of picked on a little bit. Let's see how he steps up.
You know, one guy, Joe, he's out there right now, 72, Lanier. He showed up last week as a pass rusher.
They must get to the Redskins 45 for a 1st down. Hundley steps up. There is a flag. Pass is caught for a 1st down in Redskins territory by the tight end, Emmanuel Byrd.
Holding. Offense, number 64. 10-yard penalty. Replay, 3rd down.
He nullified a 21-yard reception. Hundley in trouble. Down he goes. 3rd sack for the Redskins. Joey Mbu along with Chris Carter.
Brought him in as a special teams player. He shows some pass rush ability there.
Kendall Fuller is back deep for the Redskins. Takes it out the 32-yard line. 4-yard return out to the 36.
During the kick, holding number 40 of the receiving team. 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick. Washington's ball, first down.
Rookie out of Oklahoma. On first down, this is Pirine out across the 25.
Well, let's let the play go here, and we'll tell you if it is a zone. This is what the guy does. When this guy can be decisive, this guy's a good football player. Some differences like that.
Yeah.
And you judge play speed. Good job there.
Third down and 2. Here's Pirine for a first down into Packers territory. Out Oklahoma. Here's Pirine again. He also set the NCAA record. He rushed for 427 yards. McCoy downfield. Diving attempt made by Matt Hazel.
Needs a ride. I'll be happy to give him one just in case.
Third down and 7. And that pass a bit ahead of the former Ram, Brian Quick.
You look at him differently and keep him around a little more?
Well, I think you probably do, but fourth round only has a 25% chance of success.
Well,
So-
I was a fourth rounder.
Aaron Rodgers started the game. Then it was Brett Hundley. Callahan's first pass attempt sails away from the intended receiver, D'Angelo Yancey.
On how well guys play in the preseason. What do you think, Charlie?
Oh, I think so. Joe, to me, the big one to me is the defensive line, because you not only have to maybe figure out who's on the team. Spate's probably a faster, quicker, more athletic guy. And I know that's a reach, but hey, 55 is going to be all pro here in preseason, isn't he?
When they put the second string in, you have to basically dominate, and that's what he's done. He's done that
Holding.
last 2 weeks.
Offense, number 79. That penalty is declined. Result of the play is fourth down.
55 looked like the same as Gillette, and I'm saying, wait a minute, what number is this Gillette now? Is he 55 or what? No, Carter's 55.
Kendall Fuller on the return into Packers territory. I was enjoying hearing from Michael Ealy at halftime, a huge Redskins fan, as McCoy fires downfield. Dodson, the intended receiver.
A restaurant down in Fort Lauderdale, and I have to get permission to go there.
Here's Pirine on 2nd and 10.
I like him, Charlie. I like his feet.
Down and 2. Here he is again. He picks up a first down and more. From the 19-yard line of Green Bay, it's Pirine. This time runs into a wall.
Back.
On 2nd down, quick release by McCoy. It's Matt Hazel tripped up at the 16-yard line from the Packers 16. McCoy to the end zone. It's Niles Paul for a Redskins touchdown.
Watch where this ball is placed. Outside, away from the defender. He's on a linebacker. We saw Martellus Bennett do that to Mason Foster.
Dustin Hopkins adds the extra point. Redskins have taken a 3-point. Absolutely. Hopkins kickoff through the end zone.
Get drafted, so disappointed, and has sort of played with a chip on his shoulder for quite a few years. Getting the opportunity now, coming over from Arizona.
At the safety than you do other positions. One of our old friends here, president of the Green Bay Packers, Mark Murphy, he wasn't drafted. And he went to a Pro Bowl.
Third down at 18 for Joe Callahan on the Packers.
One of my favorite down and distances.
Complete out of the backfield, it's Aaron Jones. Zach Vigil makes the tackle.
Slow, and we're trying to find our niche. But I mean, that's what the preseason is for, and that's what continuing to going through camp. We're still in camp right now, so we just continue to build that camaraderie on offense, and we're going to be fine. The process, you just continue to learn, and I can't do anything but work on my craft every day, and understand that, and be humble, and always want to get better. And that's how I live. I wake up and I want to get better. With coming in here, and this is a great place to do it at, and hopefully stay here for a long time. I love to do it. Kirk's on a one-year deal. And this just happens to be, that's what I came, and that's what I decided I want to do. So
terrific wide receiver, and it will be very interesting to see what he's able to do with a quarterback, with one quarterback through the course of a season.
One of the things that impressed me about him that was different. As we talk, Ryan just keeps grinding out yards here, which is good.
In Cleveland last year, led the Browns with 77 receptions. McCoy on 2nd and 6, complete for a first down to Robert Davis.
Bigger guys help in the running game. They block outside quite well. And then again, down in the end zone, or down in the red zone, you have bigger targets to throw the football to.
2nd down and 9. McCoy completed. Davis again. Robert Davis, the 6th-round pick out of Georgia State, all-time leading receiver.
Down to 90, etc. What scouts do, just to put it in reality here in front of us here, Robert Davis. I mean, every player in preseason is graded on every play by everybody.
And Callahan make his life back there as a quarterback miserable.
Charlie, what will you be watching for in the 4th?
Again, we don't know who's going to play.
Mr. Jack Kent Cook wasn't necessarily the easiest guy to work for. We all know that, but he was very fair and made life very interesting in a lot of different ways. Thanks, Charlie. Terrific job.
Spent 2 years on a mission following high school.
Seems to wind up around the ball.
Had 4 tackles and a sack against the Ravens. Those 2 guys you were talking about, they only combined to go to 9 Pro Bowls. Made the preseason roster on a minicamp tryout. Did Nico Marley. Catches made by Khalif Phillips, a DC native, rookie out of Charlotte. Zach Mitchell. 2nd down and 8. This is Phillips once again.
Bring a lot of pressure.
Pass is nearly picked off by a diving Tevin Homer, rookie free agent out of Florida Atlantic. James Quick, rookie out of Louisville, is back deep for the Redskins. Punt bounces out of bounds inside the 20. Doug Williams, terrific opportunity for those high school coaches, about 100 of them.
A bit more, something he still needs to work on.
2nd down and 8. It's Jones once again. Well, Joe, you had a chance to sit down with offensive coordinator Matt Cavanaugh.
Throw it and keep teams off balance.
That's basically the classic you want to try and do. And the big thing is again, they rely on that offensive line.
Use of hands to the face. Offense, number 67. That penalty is declined. Result of the play is 4th down.
Kyle Kalis, rookie out of Michigan.
Hard job.
He's been a coach in San Francisco and Cleveland. He's done some broadcasting work.
Wouldn't that be something? You go to New England, you got Tom Brady at a stage in his career, and you think to yourself, maybe my chance is going to come.
From the 35-yard line, Hill rolling to his right. Slings one to Janis, who picks up a first down across midfield into Redskins territory.
Brian Quick's done a good job, so I feel like we've really filled that gap as well as we possibly could.
So you lose a lot of guys. You lose Coach McVay. You lose a lot of guys. Just the entire world is watching. How is Coach Gruden play calling?
He's doing a good job. I mean, at the end of the day, this is his offense. As much as Sean McVay was involved, it's Jay's offense, and it was his call. And
back up to you guys.
All right, thanks, Clinton. Kirk Cousins on his 29th birthday. 14 of 23, 144 yards, a touchdown pass.
Kirk's camp didn't respond. It's a business decision that he has made, and he's going to see what he can do going forward. But I promise you, you are going to get everything in the world out of him. Given time and given the protection, he's going to find somebody open. And I feel like the area that I think he needs to get better in is, I think, only 25 touchdowns last year is looking for bigger opportunities.
Hill steps up, picks up another first down. He's inside the 10, still on his feet. He's in. Taysom Hill.
They bring pressure. Can't get him. Does an excellent job cutting back. A touchdown against the Redskins. You don't have to say it was a preseason game. You can just say you did it. And Nico just battling all the time.
Some hesitation, and then Hazel takes a knee.
Wise decision.
Redskins start from their 25-yard line. Sudfeld to the outside.
It's a running back situation. Offensive lineman, you keep 9 or 8.
Pass nearly picked off by Lindsey Pipkins, the rookie out of Oklahoma State. The Washington Redskins, who trail by 4. Sudfeld over the middle, and a big hit is laid on James Quick.
D-line position, more than 7 guys can play well on this defense. And Jim Tomasulu, the defensive line coach, hasn't really designated guys as, okay, you're the starters.
It's interesting, Doug Williams was asked about Jim Tomasulu last week, and he compared him to Bill Callahan. If you ever have a chance to spend any time around Jim Tomasulu, his passion rubs off on just about everybody. And during the OTAs back in the spring,
he's got a great sense of humor, and just really cares a lot about his guys. Like I said, he's a wonderful teacher.
Tomasulu spent many years coaching at Catawba College and then NFL Europe. Back in the NFL with the Redskins as their D-line coach. The Husky linebackers coach last year, the new defensive coordinator, former Redskins linebacker. Redskins second-round pick, Ryan Anderson, and now the Packers pick up a first down. It's Michael Clark. That's a change this year. Khalif Phillips out to the 48-yard line.
The rest of the schedule. Don't get the Cowboys till rather late.
Pass broken up. Nice defensive play.
Redskin roster, but again, there's going to be a whole bunch of guys that hit the street September 2nd, and it's an opportunity to shine and be one of those men that gets noticed, operates, so that you can really evaluate the players. It's very difficult to evaluate, say, a Nate Sudfeld throwing the football and playing an entire football game when it's a torrential downpour.
James Quick bottled up.
Look, a little girl.
It's a nice birthday present.
Yeah.
Her birthday coming up early September. Fell just 1 of 4 tonight. Second down and 10. And this pass is caught. Robert Davis comes up with it. From the 31-yard line, Sudfeld. Complete, Zach Pascal.
15-yard penalty. 15-yard penalty.
Sudfeld sets up the screen on second down. It's Mac Brown, and Brown is close to a first down. Right, Lindsey Pipkins with the slam on the tackle. Redskins now in Packers territory. It's Zach Pascal. First and 10 from the Packers 28. Sudfeld hit, down he goes, back at the 35-yard line. Matter. A minute 20 remaining. Sudfeld over the middle, it is short. He was looking for the tight end, Derek Carrier. Down at 17.
Only pickup, you only need to pick up about half. You don't need it all.
Over the top to Mac Brown. And he will pick up more than half.
There you go.
Down to the 22-yard line. And
Green Bay's going to try and bring a little bit more than 4.
Sudfeld to the outside. No flags.
Incomplete.
Will run out the clock. Raise their record in the preseason to 2-0.
It's exactly what he needs to do and deserves to be the player of the game.
Cousins with the touchdown pass to Jamison Crowder, and then Colt McCoy hit Niles Paul for a TD in the third quarter, giving the Redskins the lead. Packers with a fourth quarter score. Aaron Rodgers led that 15-play, 75-yard touchdown drive in the first quarter. Packers win it 21-17 on Kirk Cousins' 29th birthday.